what? The connection is, maybe it's me. Maybe am I the problem? Can you hear me?
All right, there we go.
All right, you got movement. Oh, I wonder if
Yeah.
that was because a call was coming in. I'm sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be joining you tonight.
Oh
Let's
man.
see
First of all,
there.
and I want to say thank you so much for. I know I already said thank you, but thank you so much for joining me because I was like reaching out to trying to reach out to black bartenders, and some people just were kind of like cold. I'm just like I don't want anything. I just want to promote you and show you off. But
You feel me?
so you were
You
so
know,
cool.
so, thank you. Thank you. I consider it to be like an extreme honor. So like let me thank you for having me on. It's really dope to
Oh,
be here. One time for the one time I got give a shout out to the city. Big shout out to Detroit. Big shout out
yes.
to all the talent here. It's a pleasure to be doing this with you, love.
Wow. I think you are my first Detroit bartender. So I'm excited. We've been to like Atlanta. We've been out to Oklahoma. We've gone out to Wisconsin. So you setting the mold for the Detroits. So
Mm,
I mean, you got some high
gotta hit him
standards
with
to
the
live
ice.
up to, man. You gotta set the bar.
Hey, hey, if there's
So
one thing, Detroit never
go
disappoints. So, I'm here for the culture.
for the culture, for the culture. So
I'm gonna take this off.
before we go any
Give me.
further, you gotta tell us what's your name. Oh, I want to sneeze so bad, but I'm trying to hold it in. Trying to be professional. You know, interviewers don't sneeze. Okay. I hope you have some leftovers. I got a lot of questions. You know what? I think. Okay, guys, genius moment. I think that is when somebody's calling. Oh, he left. Oh my goodness, we lost him. Well, if there's anything my mother did not raise, she did not raise a quitter. So we'll give him a second and we'll join back on. But if this is your first time joining me, hello, welcome. I'm Misschampagneb. Definitely check out our YouTube channel if you want to see past episodes of Steady Mixing. We have lots of bartenders on. This is like our second 10 episode group. So if you want to see what we did before, if you want to see who we highlighted before, check them out, support them, subscribe to them, follow them. Um, all right, he's here. Yay! All right, I'm about to milk it. Oh, you hung up on me? How could you?
It gave up on me. I don't know what's going on right now.
Uh, are you able to see me? Am I moving okay? Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's on
Oh
my end. I'm sorry,
no.
love.
Okay, so you can see. That's okay, because you know what? We are not quitters. We're going to struggle through this hour. I don't care. People struggle through love. We're going to struggle through this interview. It's all right.
Fact.
So, again, it sounds like the universe is trying to stop you. Tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from.
I am a bartender, plain and simple.
Okay.
I tend to my bar. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised. Really grateful to be able to say that because kind of seeing the history of everything. Went to the number one, second to none high school in this city, the Cass Tech. So seeing the transformation has been really crazy. Um, but that's what I like to say. I'm a bartender. I like tending to my bar. I like providing experiences for my guests.
How long have you been doing it?
Ah, God. Almost a decade now, like about 7 years.
7 years? That
Yeah.
that's some good time. That's some good time that you put in. So how did you even get started in bartending? Like what took you there?
So it was very haphazardly. There was this really dope spot called um oh my God. I was a barista. Sorry, I started off as a coffee barista at
Uh-huh.
in downtown Detroit, and a friend of mine started working at this new hotel bar, and was like, they need a bar back, and like the hourly just off rip was better than what it was. So I was like, all right, yeah, sure, let's make the move. And I started bar backing there, and it was like it was cool, It was like
Hmm.
for me, it was like a little money thing. It was about the money. The money was there. The funds was nice. But then I had this wonderful, wonderful bartender. Her name is Trish. And while I was barbacking there, she kind of took me under her wing. She had like 20 plus years in the Chicago bar scene, like just this total badass of like this femme fatale bartender. And
Hmm.
she taught me how to develop my palate. She taught me how to stir. She taught me when to stir versus shaking. And like it developed this passion within me. And for me, I dub it, and this is what I always call it. I call it feeding the beast. She developed the
Hmm.
beast within me for bartending. And once I started bartending there, because it was a hotel bar, so the turnover was crazy. But once I started bartending there, I just kind of never looked back and just always tried to better myself from there.
Wow. So you learned most of your skill on the job,
hmm
or all on the job. Did
The
you do any type of formal education at all, or just?
Nope, nope. The old school way. Yo, you have to excuse my vernacular, but we like to call it the back or the
Wait, wait,
barbitch,
wait. Say it
however
one
you
more
want to
time.
say it. The barbitch.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. That old school. You can't teach that way anymore nowadays.
You can't.
Uh,
No, you can't.
nope, nope. Ain't no more kitchen language. But yeah, no. Started off the old school way at the ground floor as a barback.
Man, so you went from bar back to bartender.
Yep, yep. It took
Did,
me it
did
took
it,
me about like 6 months.
that's not bad at all, because some people have been doing it for years. They're like, they're gonna put me on a bartender eventually. I just gotta keep serving. Like you keep believing that, Chef Throw.
Hey, look, I'll tell you this first and foremost. I'm way too ambitious for that.
I know. Well, we had one of our guests. He was talking about how he had basically stayed in one location for many years. And for me, like I jump ship, like boom, boom. I see a little bit of danger. I'm like, I'm out. There's just too much going on for me to really stay in one place. But he was like,
Yeah,
I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person. I like to stick to one place. So, it's interesting to see those different contrasts of some people just legit. I don't think it's necessarily they love the craft more, but they just don't like change. Some people don't like change. I love change.
but
I can't do the same thing over and over again.
see, I'm like you. I'm like the LeBron James when it come to the bartending. You feel me? Like every
Okay.
place is I don't mean it like as a go, but I mean it's like every new
He said
place.
he's a go to bartending. No.
I mean, look, I'm a Leo at the end of the day. But everything is a stepping stone. Everything is a new way to learn something different. So, I've done dive bartending, hotel bartending, event
Mm,
bartending.
yeah.
My goal is always to be the most complete bartender that I could possibly be. And sometimes, like, with dive bartending, you learn high volume and how to get
Yeah.
things out real fast, or you out of there.
Yes.
When it
Yes. That's
comes
how you
to
get your money.
facts, facts, facts.
Mm,
So, like for me, I've definitely been at some spots for a long time. Like I was at my hotel bar where I started off almost 2 years. I was at Bad Luck for over 2 years. I was at Sugar House for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
These all
But
sound real sexy. Keep going. These are some sexy names for some bars. Go ahead,
Hey,
man.
hey, look, come to Detroit and I'll show you the gamut run. Love, we'll
Oh,
definitely
girl,
run the
that's only
gamut.
2 hours away.
You feel me? Wait, were you in Chicago or
I'm in
Columbus?
Columbus. I'm in
You in
Columbus,
Columbus?
Ohio.
Oh, so you know Lindsay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Hey, hey,
Small
big shout out to
world.
Columbus.
Thank
Oh,
you.
fact,
Thank
fact.
you.
Columbus and
Yeah.
Cleveland, because the big homie Terrell started out in I believe Cleveland as well. So
Hmm.
I got love for those two cities, and those are sister cities. 2 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah,
Big
right.
facts.
That's why I'm coming up there because I want to just come and just watch. Like I don't want to, my goal is to try to learn as much as possible. So I just want to come and just watch and see what you do and see how you operate. Because I was going through your Instagram. I've been working on getting more creepy with my interviews by like studying Instagrams. And as I was
Yeah.
looking at yours, I was like, wow, like you look like you got some skills behind the sticks. So of all your favorite bartender positions. Or I'm sorry, of all your bartending positions, which one has been your favorite?
I gotta say, up until this very, very moment, because it'll change as soon as my current bar opens up. But I'd have to say
Okay.
Bad Luck. Bad
Ooh.
Luck Bar, owned by Yanni and Dave K and Chef Mark. Um, it's a speakeasy that's literally the entrance is in an alley, and not like a pretty alley. I mean, like there's a garbage and grease can right across the street. I mean, right across the alley. Like it was the truest alley ever. But I will say, working there and working under people like Scott Poole and Matt, and working with Eric and working with Jay, working with Shan, like it was a very small staff. It was seven of us, and the maximum occupancy was about 32. So very small, very intimate, and it provided like a foundation and kind of like a blueprint for like really what I want to do when I eventually open up like my own bar where I'm owning it.
Mhm.
Um, from the expertise that you got from every single person, because every single server was also a bartender. You just rotated shifts. So he was
Mhm.
always talking to a bartender, you know, being like having that competitive edge that's still friendly to push yourself further. I learned so much in my time there from Yanni, first of all. Like Yanni was like my second teacher that really showed me how to feed my beast, showed me what books to read, show me why we're doing things this way. But most importantly, he installed into me one of my number one pillars when it comes to not only just drink creation, but bartending in
Mhm.
general. And that's everything with intention, because perception is key. How your
Everything with
guests
intention is key.
perceive your drinks, how they perceive your couch, how they perceive you working, all is tied into their overall experience. And I learned at that bar that's something where it's like if I was to ever eventually write a book or a cocktail book or even like an autobio, that bar will always have like one of the most special places in my.
Yeah, and that's the place where you were in a cocktail bracket. You guys were champions, or
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
like?
we had won ours best cocktail bar in the Metro Detroit area. And that was really dope. That was really dope, particularly being the only black bartender there and like the tallest guy, in the photo too. So it was really dope to have been able to like contribute to that.
And I don't know if you can see the comments. I'm gonna come back to that. But Lonnie's Liquid Lash, she said she's been there. It was dope. On her trip to Detroit, it was her favorite place.
Yeah,
Right?
uh,
I'm excited. I'm over here like shit. How can I get to this place? But I got
absolutely.
I got I'm coming. I'm coming this summer. Like this summer, I'm going to be in the streets. I'm going to be
Hey,
out
can't wait to
here.
have you, you know.
I'm ready. So now you tell. Well, we'll get to that. So, cocktail. Where are you at now? Where are you at now? Sorry.
So I'm opening up a bar
Mm.
called Willow with some
Mm.
fantastic ownership.
Mm.
It's something where at least, by my recollection, it's going to be something that really represents the authenticity of Black hospitality from top to bottom. You have myself, beverage directing, and bar managing, and you have three of some of the most dopest bar owners and owners that are Black men as well. They also were semifinalists for James Beard this season for best restaurateurs. And
Ooh.
and then, at least for me, you got that. You got these three Black men at the top of ownership, and you have this beautiful, gorgeous, no, I'm joking, Black man creating these. That's really just trying to reclaim a little bit of the power that has been taken from us in this industry, um, and just really trying to present it in a way where um, we can deliver an authentic taste profile and experience that is not only just like not just unique to Black folk, but is
Mhm.
inclusive and diverse to the entire gamut of every single person that could possibly walk into our bar. So I'm really excited. I'm actually here right now. We got Big Daddy Mars
Ooh.
right here.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, yeah, at least from my recollection, it's going to be probably the first type of bar with that type of top to bottom, Black ownership and Black delivery system in the state, and maybe one of 10 in the country. So we're trying to do it
Ooh.
right. We're trying to do it proper. And
Mm-hmm.
we're just really trying to put our culture, on the pedestal.
Yes. And when are you slated to open? Is it like you got a while, or is it coming up soon? Because I just need to know when I need to plan my trip and my
In the
extended
month.
stay in Detroit. In a month?
We definitely, yeah, end of month. We're
End of
definitely
month.
slated to do our soft opening before the end of May, and pray tell, everything goes well in the soft opening. It's just some minor readjustments that we have to make. We definitely want to like fully open up by the end of the month. So it is. The past couple weeks have been like so on go, getting everything
Mm-hmm.
ready. But we're so excited to be able to um, give this to the world, and like my staff as well. Like it's you see nothing but Black faces serving you, Black faces on the wall. It's in my opinion, it's a momental kind of opening that we will have, for us in the blackest city in America. So it's definitely over time.
Man. Man, make sure I will be watching your page for that because I want to go. And you think you're talking about the experience and creating a palette. How did you develop your palette so that you could create something like this? What were things that you did so that you could have such a more diverse palette? And other people may be interested on how they can improve their palette as well.
Just like I said,
I
it's
froze on
I'm
me
like in the middle of my
now.
hood. Being bougie, by searching out like first off, building relationships with really dope chefs. The only way to actually build your palate is to train it. So you have to eat things that you normally wouldn't eat. You have to drink things that you wouldn't normally have to drink. Uh, you know, you can't become proficient in wine not drinking wine or not knowing
Mm-hmm.
what the flavor difference is between a cab and a merlot and a zinfandel, or if you're going old world, a barolo, all these. really dope, a Bordeaux, all these really, you can't really pick out or discern why these things are so great until you tasted them. So that's when, I had to be a little bougie. I went into these establishments where I might have been the only person that looked like myself in those establishments, but I was there and I was eating, great Italian food, great German food, great British food, great Brazilian food, great Mexican food. Really, the only way to train your palate is to eat. It's to drink, it's to smell, it's to um, position yourself in a way where you can transcribe what you're tasting, what you're feeling into ways that you can express. So, there might be a drink that you had and it's like, oh my God, this reminds me of my nana's peach tea, and my nana came from Alabama. Or, you might
Mm-hmm.
be eating something, where it's like, oh my God, this reminds me of this, that, and the third, being able to taste things so regularly that you can put them in your own words. I think that would be like the
Mm.
best advice that I can give anybody. Like, I call it the Bourdain exercise. He, like Anthony Bourdain was a
Oh
major
yeah, he
influence on
was.
my life. You feel me? Shut up
Mhm.
and just eat it, and just at
Yes.
least try it and taste it. You might like it, you might love it, you might hate it,
Hmm.
you might never want it again, but you will never know until you taste it.
Wow, you make me want to go taste a lot of things. Like right, what we got like 30, 38 minutes left. Yeah, I'm gonna taste a whole bunch of stuff
Sorry, I get a little
right
long-winded
now.
at times.
But no, but that's so true. And you need that type of palate. You need to know, have that knowledge built up, and at least know how to acquire that knowledge, because the establishment that you're opening, it's not just a bar, is it? It's a bar and restaurant.
Nope, it's just a bar. We'll have some really dope like accoutrements and some small plate things, but
Mhm.
the primary focus is on the cocktails.
Okay, okay. But you cook though, right? I've seen some of your food. It You got some delicious food out there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
look,
chef
is
it up
it
a little bit.
so you do
I
you
love
cook?
cooking.
Are you a chef, or you just throw down in the kitchen?
Um, Little bit of both. I think that like, once you get to a certain level bartending, especially like craft bartending, and you start really forming these relationships and like becoming good friends with chefs, you kind of have no choice but to, because you start hearing things and having curiosities and conversations. The next thing you know, you're making brown butter this. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're making a
Mm-hmm.
spuma. Like it's just it just kind
I
of
love how you
falls into
say like
place.
everybody does spuma. It's like, yeah, it's just a spuma. It's just everybody does it. Everybody knows what that is. Cat.
But I mean, like, so like at least like for me, like one of my favorite of all time things to make is risotto, and like
Mm.
from learning from some of my Italian chefs friends, I do it the old fashioned way. I mean, you have to stove for at least 40 to 45 minutes. Ain't no walking away from that.
Mm.
And like, everything like one of my favorites and what I think is like my signature dish is brown buttered seared scallops with wild mushroom and black truffle
Mm.
risotto. That's
Okay.
I love that. I
And
love making that so much.
I studied from Chef Ramsay on TV. Risottos seem to be very difficult to pull off, right? They just
It can be absolutely,
Ooh. Wow. And I love me some risotto. So
but that's
again, when I come to Detroit, I'm gonna need the sample.
let
I'm gonna need the sample.
me
You're
know
not just gonna sit
beforehand.
here
I'll
and
make
drop a
you some.
delicious food and just walk off. That's not how we operate here.
Facts, facts, facts. I got you, love.
Thank you. Now your bar is coming up. You're focusing on cocktails. Did you curate your menu?
Yes.
Wow, that's some big stuff. That could be a huge undertaking for your. This is your first bar?
No, no. It's
Okay.
well, it's no, it's my second bar as a leader. My first
Oh.
Yep. My first bar was actually last year, where I was the beverage director at Shelby, Detroit. We
Mm-hmm.
did some magnificent things. First off, shout out to Taroom. Shout out to Derek, my lieutenant, when I was there. And, I consider myself very lucky to have worked with the people that I have and to put out the drinks that I did. Because it also
Mm-hmm.
earned me a semifinalist nomination for James Beard for Outstanding Bar
Ooh.
Program. So,
Yeah.
it's definitely been a ride, but I'm very serious when it comes to my work. It's with besides my daughter. Shout out to baby girl Nova, aka Pretty Puff Princess. That's my daughter.
Aw.
She's the best. But with the exception of my daughter, for me, my work ethic, the product that I put out always has to first and foremost be intentional and always have to come from a place of excellence. And so I feel very lucky to have been able to um, work with the people that I did at Shelby, and also in conjunction with them. First off, shout out to Chef Mike as well. Also, one of the best one of the best chefs in the city. Shout out Chef John, the park ranger himself. I've worked around such greatness and so many brilliant people that, as shocking as it was to get that James Beard nom in 6 months, I came on to that, my very first leadership bar job, with a 5-year plan to get that. And so, I feel very lucky. And so, for me now, with Willow being here and having a little bit more control and having a little bit more say so, and having ownership approach me more as like a partner than as like, like a worker or employee, I feel very, very fortunate to be able to do this.
Yes. Look at you in that power. And I want to say that Lonnie also said that she's been to Shelby as well.
Hey, big
You
stuff, big
know,
stuff.
so that so
You've been at all
I
the
got
spots, baby.
she has. I gotta catch up. I am behind. So your cocktail process, like I'm taking a masterful management course through P Portland Cocktail Week,
Yeah.
and
Wait, hold on. I did that Scotch whiskey certification.
oh my gosh, I did too. Hold on, wait, let me get mine. I got my
What?
pants falling
Wait,
down.
wait.
Yeah,
Wow.
we
Yes,
made it.
yes.
Oh shoot! So I got my I so I yeah so anywho, I'm doing the macro management, and we talked about building cocktails, like building
Yeah.
cocktails in the process of trying to come up with grouping and 100 different themes that relate to each other. What is your process when coming up with a cocktail?
The very first question that I ask is, who is this cocktail for?
Mm-hmm.
Because not every cocktail is meant for everybody. So I
Mm-hmm.
always ask myself, who is this cocktail for? Then I think of the historical, cultural, societal implications of this cocktail. Um,
That's deep.
if I'm borrowing it or having inspiration from a particular society or culture, how can I pay homage to that and not appropriate it? If
Mm-hmm.
I am thinking off of something just off the fly, is this a flavor combination that I've done before? Is this a
Mm-hmm.
flavor combination that is already has been done? Particularly in terms of classics, particularly in terms of whatever industry in the city that I'm in right now. Then I
Mm-hmm.
ask myself, how can that be improved? Who do I trust to, kind of taste these cocktails to see where it's at on a particular level? And then from there, I start actually like building the cocktail. Like that whole first part of the process is all mental. It's all in
Mm-hmm.
my head. I'm thinking I got literally at least 7 or 8 notebooks that are just filled with cocktail inspiration, cocktail builds, cocktail ideas. And so it gives me like a reference point. So then at that point, I start actually playing around with the cocktail, like physically, trying out different builds for it, different recipes for it, trying to get the dilution right, trying to get the temperature right, making sure that it's in the right vessel, making sure I'm using the correct kind of glass. Is this going to be shaken? Is this going to be stirred? Is this going to be a session low ABV? If necessary, can I remove the spirit and perhaps add something like a seed lip or a Lyre's or a non-alcoholic in order to turn this into a non-alcoholic? Um, it's a process that, if done correctly, it takes a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that can be done like really quickly. And if it's done quickly, it's because then I already had the build for it. So maybe I'm swapping
Mm-hmm.
out instead of lemon, I'm doing lime, or instead of gin, I'm doing Jennifer, or I'm doing a barrel aged gin, or I'm foregoing that and going rye. Um, there was one of my favorite books of all time is Regarding Cocktails, written
Mm-hmm.
by Sasha Petratsky, rest in, rest in heaven, fam, of Milk and Honey, New York, way back in, what's that, 2000, 2001. And Phil Ward, um, one of the bartenders there, he has this philosophy called the Mr. Potato Head. And that's basically just when you swap out one ingredient of something, you're
Mm-hmm.
just swapping out ingredients and kind of keeping the measurements the same. Um, I think about that as well. I think about what the current palette of it's a lot of factors to say. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
uh, but
I mean,
it's
but
it's
that's
it's
good. Just how you break it down.
yeah. For me, creating a cocktail, I try to create a cocktail and approach a cocktail the same way a master chef approaches a plate of food,
Mm-hmm.
from its visual appearance to its cohesiveness to its inspirations to its prep as well. Because your cocktail will only be as good as your prep. If your prep ain't where it's at, if you're not making syrups the way that they need to be made, then no matter what, you can have $100 uh, spirit in there. It's still going to be subpar because your prep ain't where it's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, I try to approach it as gastronomically and culinarily as I possibly can, and from there, just see how the people take it. And
Mm-hmm.
not every
That's all
drink is
you can
going to be a
do.
winner. Yeah.
Yeah. I usually, for me, I try to look at the first time they take a sip because the first sip you can't lie. Like that first sip you cannot lie. So I'm all up
Right.
in their face. I'm just like, yeah, I want to see what's gonna happen here. And I take that sip, and if it's just like, oh, okay, it's not it. That's not
My
it.
favorite
But
thing.
if
This
it's
this is
like,
my favorite tip.
mm-hmm.
This is my favorite tip.
Yes, yes. You got a cynic there. You got a cynic. That person was like, nah, I'm not gonna like it. They already told me ingredients I don't even like.
Yep.
Rosemary and syrup. Oh my gosh. And you blew their wig back. You blew their wig back. So what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Dacocktailpoet, DA Cocktail Poet, all one word. Yeah, you can find me up there. I'm always posting, particularly on my story. And Also, shameless plug. Me and my
Okay.
partners, Lisa Carriel,
Because
and
you have not been doing that all night.
no, well, yeah, look, my
I
philosophy
had to
is
get
give
it in.
flowers when people are alive instead of on their coffins.
No, no, please do. I love it. Keep going. I'm just messing with you, baby. Keep going.
Shameless plug to my partners, Lisa Carriel and John Simpson. I'm sorry, John Neely. Uh,
Mhm.
Bob's Black on Both Sides is our pop up when y'all in Detroit. Always look for that shit. It's three beautiful black people doing a pop up at various venues, killing
Ooh.
shit and highlighting and shining the spotlight on a guest. And we have guest bartenders, guest servers, guest chefs, the whole nine yards that are Black, beautiful, and deserve to be spotlighted. I'm sorry.
I love it. No, we don't. I love it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. But the main reason why I even do these is because, like, when you're explaining to me some of these places, I'm like, well, damn, I didn't even know that even existed. I didn't even know that was even a fucking option. So now I'm like, okay, I need to get. So when you shout things out,
Oh,
in actuality and true story, I love it because it not only lets me know who else is out there, but everybody else who's watching, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. When they watch the playback, oh shit, I gotta go out there, and
right.
as the Black community, I feel like we don't really have a lot of that information out there for us. It's like almost like underground still. So I want us to link up and network and connect and support each other. And I like your profile. I love the poetry all over. I was reading it.
I actually I went to school for political science and poetry. So
Oh wow.
yeah. So poetry for me is something that is very, very close and dear to my heart. My three loves is my daughter, bartending, and poetry.
Wow. And I know it to be true because you performed at the Tales of the Cocktail, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the chance to do letters to young Black bartenders, and
Ha.
I wrote this piece. I
Go
wrote
ahead.
this piece. It was called Black Magical Bartender, and that's kind of like when the poetry side of me really came out because it's like an actual speech, but it reads like a
Hmm.
poem. But yeah, no. Yeah, shout out to Bombay, shout out to Colin, shout out to Terrell, shout out to Dwayne for bringing that to the city because not too often are things like that here in Detroit. So I was very very proud to be a part of that, and shout out to the panelists as well that were on there.
Ooh, I would like to see that. You probably should do like an open mic night at your
Oh yeah,
establishment.
I've been on like the underground open mic scene in here in Detroit since 2014.
Ooh,
So
you got bars. You got
uh,
bars, man.
look, I'm a Leo, okay? You shouldn't be hyping me up like this, all right? Trying to stay humble.
It ain't working. Come on out. Come on out. So
Oh Lord,
I I love it. And you are also on Thirsty Mac too, right? Because you're out here, you're doing your thing.
you
How did
feel
that come
me?
together?
Tara hit me. Actually,
I told you
I
I was
met
trying to get creepy with information. I'm stalking people now. Yes.
did your homework. I met Tara
Ooh.
at BCB Bar Convent Brooklyn last summer, and it was wonderful meeting her. And she hit me up a little bit towards late last year, and was like, "Yeah, I see what you're doing, and this, that, and the third, and I would love to like feature one of your drinks off your menu on here." And that drink was the Cure Kisses that you can find on thirstymag.com. Really dope. Like a little X.
Mm.
So, it was really dope. Shout out to as well. And Thirsty Mag, one of the best, like, real, like, inches in the streets, publications, fine wine and drink publications out there. So, yo, mad love to Tara. She's a really, really, really dope person.
Good, good. You did good. I will have to finish reading your article. I ran out of time, so I apologize for that. I will finish that for you. Um, you said on one of your posts that bartenders' moxie is judged by how they make it old fashioned.
Absolutely.
Why? So why
Absolutely.
would you say that?
Because at its core, an old fashioned is just three things. spirits,
Hmm.
bitters, and sugars. And if you want to count dilution as the fourth ingredient, absolutely. But at its core, it's those three things. And
Hmm.
the thing about simplicity is that there is a very small margin of error. And for me, if you can make me a damn good old fashioned, I already know after that you can make me whatever you want, and more than likely it's going to be delicious. Um, but like, and that's why, because I mean, especially today, out of all the times in bartending, there's a plethora of bitters. There's a plethora of different types of spirits. There's a plethora of different types of sugar. So, you know, for you to come through and like give me a old fashioned that I've never tasted before, and I've never had this flavor combination or this flavor palette or profile, to me like that speaks value. And at the same time have it be balanced, have the alcohol come through but not have necessarily a burn in a bad way down my throat as I'm sipping it. For me to want another one, like to me,
Hmm.
that's what that just I took like 2 years to like really.
Mm. Mm. You're kind of chopping up a bit, my friend.
Make me whatever you want to make me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You chopped up a little bit back there. You chopped up a little bit back there. I'm pushing through it though. But yeah, I don't want you to have to repeat everything. But I got the gist of it.
Oh
Like if they make
no!
it so that it's really good and palatable for you, they can make you whatever they
I'm sorry.
want.
Could you say that one more
Like
time
you're
for me?
like you're you said that. You said that if they make a really good old fashioned, that they could basically make you whatever they want. Is that
Anything
the
you want.
gist of it? Anything they want.
Absolutely.
You're just like, give it to me. Take my
Yeah.
money.
Because I mean, at that point, I trust you now because the margin of error is so slim to make a
It's
great
so
old
slim.
fashioned. No, it's like, yo, make me whatever you want. I trust your palate at this point.
So, what's the secret to a great old fashioned?
I think first and foremost is spirit choice.
Okay.
Secondly, would be dilution. Because
Hmm.
a lot of people either over dilute to make their old fashioned seem really smooth when it's just really watered down, or they under dilute
Hmm.
and it has a burn. Like you gotta let that sit on the rocks for a little bit before you take your next sip. And then last but not least,
Hmm.
sugar content. Um, I think a lot of people, particularly when you get into like what we think of as old fashions and chain restaurants, a lot of that influence comes from the Wisconsin old fashioned. And we get tied up
Mm.
in this really, really sweet and syrupy concoction. Um, where like the purpose of an old fashioned is to really um, make the spirit shine. The spirit should be at the forefront. I'm a huge believer in you should be able to taste your liquor. And I don't mean that in the burn. I just mean like if I'm drinking bourbon, I know that I'm drinking bourbon. I
You can
still
taste the
get the oak.
notes and flavors. Hmm.
Absolutely. And it takes real attention and uh, intention to really nail on that this is diluted enough, this has the right amount of sweetness, and this is smooth enough to where I'm not covering up the bourbon, but I'm just adding a little bit of like salt bay sprinkle accoutrement to the bourbon or to the whiskey or whatever. And a lot of people think that like old fashions have to be whiskey. They don't.
Hmm.
Old fashioned can be made from any spirit, rum, I did this for one event. I did this really dope like vodka gin old fashioned that no one thought was
Ooh.
vodka gin. Like a spring summer old fashioned. You know, it just all depends on finding that middle ground, but that takes experience. It takes and being intentional, and it takes good quality prep is what I'll say to
Mm,
get to that point.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. If you don't have your stuff prepped, you're just running around with your head cut off like a chicken. Yeah, that sounds
Facts,
right.
big
I
facts.
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if that was the quote. Like that sounds good. I'm gonna go with that. So I have something I call the Last Supper question. All right.
All right.
So you're stuck on an island. You only can have three things. One thing has to be one spirit that you have to drink for the rest of your life on this island. The other thing is a bar tool that you couldn't live without. And finally, the third one can be anything, any random thing. I don't care what it is. Let go.
Okay. So
Oh
he was
no.
breaking
Okay.
up
All right.
throughout all of
See,
that.
this is
Look
what
at
I've
you.
been
I'm
going
sorry.
through.
I
This is
know.
what
I
I've been
know. I
going
know. I'm
through.
sorry.
You've been over here probably like she is rude as fuck. But no, I've been like, man, I'm sure he's dropping some knowledge right now, but I can't see it.
No, it makes me
Praise
mad
God.
because usually, like, I have good. I don't know what's going on right now. It's really
That's all
making me mad.
right.
But I'm sorry. One more time
That's
for
okay.
me.
You got stuff to do. All right. So Last Supper question. You're on an island. You're there for the rest of your life. You only can have three things. One is a spirit that you can drink that you have to drink for the rest of your life. The only spirit you can drink for the rest of your life. The other thing is the only bar tool that you couldn't live without. And the third thing is anything you want. Whatever it is. I won't judge, no matter how sick or twisted it is. Oh, you probably didn't get that. What's going on here with the service? Who is Denise Young? Denise Young wants to join. I wonder, do you know her? Andre is the best for all gigs. Okay,
All right.
Denise, go ahead.
Hey, Auntie.
She came on here wanting to join, and I'm like, who is Denise?
Facts.
She came here mid like she ready, my baby. She don't even care what we talking about. That's love.
Facts. I would have to say,
Mm-hmm.
God, that's a hard one.
No way.
I'd have to break it down into a build.
Okay. I don't know. This sounds pretty illegal. It's like you're trying to circumnavigate the question process.
No, 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 no. Just like, okay, wait. One drink. I'm on an island. It's the only thing I can drink.
It's a one
Forever.
spirit, not a drink, because a drink might have multiple pieces. One spirit. It
Okay,
could
what
be a
spirit?
liquor, it could be a liqueur. One spirit.
Rye. I'm a rye guy. It would
Rye.
have
All
to
right,
be
so you're doing some rye out here. Okay. All
absolutely.
right. What's the one bar tool that you just couldn't live without? You got to have it.
I got to have it.
You gotta
God,
have it.
I feel so
You
midway.
got.
My jigger, my
Jigger
jigger,
what? You need your jigger? Yeah. You got your
jigger
yeah,
who?
yeah. Really? Oh,
Jigger
that was
what?
good. Jigger what? Jigger
My
who?
jigger.
What's up, my jiggers? I
You,
was at the I was at a I was at a bar and I was talking to these white people and I was like, yeah, this is a jigger, and he was like, it's a what? I was like, jig, jig, hard J, not er, hard J. he was he was just
RJ,
flabbergasted. Mm-mm-mm.
RJ, not in heard.
No. Mm-mm. So you're gonna bring
And
a
then,
jigger with you. So you're gonna be
you said,
measuring.
and
What are
number
you measuring?
every and anything.
Okay.
I, don't get me wrong. I can free pour, and my count, like I can,
It counts on point.
my count is gonna be good.
Hmm.
But consistency matters,
Yeah, it does. If you're gonna
and
die on the
so
island, you wanna have a good cocktail.
yeah, I wanted to taste the same regardless. And like even even outside that island, somebody might come to the island or I might get rescued, and best believe I'm gonna have that bill inscribed somehow. It's, it's
It'll
gonna
be a
be
great
2 ounce coconut
story.
water. Facts,
It's gonna be a
facts,
great story. Like, how did they come up with this coconut rum? Well, it was all thanks to the cocktail poet and his jigger.
facts.
And his jigger.
uh,
So, but we're coming to a
Absolutely.
close. You have been awesome. You let me joke and laugh with you and pick your brain. Plug yourself. Tell us more about Willow. Where is it at? What can we expect? When should we roll up there as a team? Plug yourself.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram, on IG here at Dacocktailpoet, the Cocktail Poet. If you want to read some really great poetry, you can check me out on Instagram as well. Sincerely, truly poetic. Um, if y'all in the city, particularly on the 22nd of this month,
Hmm.
me and my partners with Bob's Detroit, Black on Both Sides, we'll be doing our pop up at Metropolitan Kitchen and Bar in West Village. Y'all can check us out there on the
Hmm.
22nd of May. We'll also be featuring fried chicken and caviar. Some two of the like best black women that are doing this shit right now in terms of food. You can also catch me at Willow when we open up.
Whoop,
Definitely
whoop.
details will be coming on my own Instagram for that. But at the end of the day, I just can't wait to see y'all wherever I'm at and to drink with y'all, get a little rowdy, get a little peaceful, and just really bring the hospitality back into hospitality.
Oh man, look at you. That was a perfect ending. And I wish I could like end the show on that, but then I was like, oh, I got other questions now. So I got you for 6 more minutes. I've got you for 6 more minutes. I am well within my right as an interviewer to ask you these questions.
Like,
What's your favorite cocktail to drink?
my favorite cocktail is tied between three drinks.
Okay. There's a lot of drinks there, but let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm a always order one of these three drinks first.
Okay.
Classic daiquiri,
Mm.
old fashioned,
Mm.
or a Sazerac. A Sazzy.
Yeah, I can see you doing these complex things and trying to quiz these bartenders to see what they can do. Are you sizing up bartenders? Is that like your oh yeah, he think he bad. Make me a Sazerac. Is that like your call to action right there? Is that
No, no, because if I'm ordering any of those drinks, I already believe in the institution and
Okay.
like because otherwise I'm just gonna do something on the rocks. I'm gonna go rye on the rocks, I'm gonna go cognac on the rocks,
Mm.
or I'm gonna do a scotch on the rocks.
Ooh. I had a couple. There's a couple, and they were like, we want to buy scotch, but like you kind of know like a scotch person, you know, like you just know when a scotch
Yep.
person. I can't explain it, but when someone tells me scotch, I can look at them and either one or two things like, yeah, I can believe you have people in your family who drink scotch, or the other thing is like, do you know what scotch is? Like, are you aware of its a flavor profile? So they're like, yeah, we're gonna get vodka and some tequila, and they were like, and sometimes your liquor choices let me know if you don't really fuck with scotch. I think they were like Patron, and I was like, y'all probably don't really fuck with scotch like that. So,
But but I'll say this. One of my favorite Scotch distilleries and producers that
mm.
make some of the best intros into Scotch, Glenmorangie, their expression series.
Ooh,
So their Quinta Ruban, which is finished in port casks, their La Santa. which is finished in sherry cask, and their Nectar Dior, which is finished in French Saltarine dessert wine cask. Those
Ooh.
three are always I always recommend them for people who want to try scotch, particularly like if they are meh or like bourbon
Uh,
already or like whiskey in general already, because those tend to be on the sweeter profiles of scotch than definitely any of your Islas or your Campbelltowns or your
mhm.
Lowlands or Highlands. Um, then a lot of them, and just that extra cask maturation really makes it a little bit more approachable for
Ooh.
non-Scotch drinkers to get into Scotch.
See, and that's what we need to know, because a lot of people don't know much about Scotch, which is why I'm like, don't buy that. Don't buy it. If you don't know enough about it, just don't waste your money because it
But
kind of reminds me of gin, right? You have people who
hmm
they're like, I hate gin. I hate gin. I don't like the taste of gin. But it's like it's you don't necessarily don't like the taste of gin per se. You maybe grew up drinking Seagrams. Your grandparents drank Seagrams like my grandparents drank Seagrams. For me,
yep,
Seagrams doesn't do it at all. And then doesn't do it for me. So I thought that I just did not like gin. But then I found this beautiful son of a bitch right here.
no legs.
Yes.
You
Got
feel me? It
so
kind of tastes like bubblegum.
yeah, I feel like floral notes. I feel like I take rose out of it, like a rose type of feel.
Absolutely.
I love it, and I didn't know it until I had went to here in Columbus. We have a bar which is really nice. It kind of has that old timey feel on the inside called the Beeline, and they just serve cocktails, no food, which is the type of bar I love. I
Mm-hmm.
love to work in a place where they
Facts.
only serve cocktails. I hate food. I hate food. I have to memorize it because you have to remember all the dietary restrictions. Is it cooked in butter? Is it cooked in coconut oil? Who knows? You might kill somebody. I
Facts.
I'll say that story for another day. But it's a yeah. I'll wait on that story. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me. I wish you the best. I can't wait to come up there and see you. If I do, don't act brand new like you don't know me, because I'm like, what's up? You
Oh
said
no,
you was
I'm
gonna
a
cook.
hugger, baby.
Okay. Because you said you was gonna cook, and I really feel like there is some cocktailage involved. Will W19 said Seagrams taste buds exit the chat. I know, right?
Facts.
It's it's a tough brand. But thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, please check out The Cocktail Poet. He's so poetic. He's smart, talented, and he could cook. I'm about to go eat right now. Just it's not gonna taste like his, but I'm gonna think about him. It's like I'm cheating. I'm thinking about you, but I'm eating something else. That sounded so weird. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be safe, be sound, be loved.
Deuces, it's all love out here.
Bye.